Welcome back to Eyewitness News this morning, joined by Charley O'Hara, here to answer your legal questions. If you have a question, give us a call, 436-1212. We do have one caller already in the line with a question, Charley. So, hey, caller, if you're there, you can go ahead and ask your question right now.
Yes, I was wondering, once the person dies, is there a time limit on getting the estate through probate? And if there is a time limit and you don't make it, what happens?
Well, I think there is. I don't have that exactly what time is involved, but yes, you do need to proceed. It needs to be done rather quickly. I mean, legally, what quickly means is probably different than what everybody else thinks it means. But you need to get it going. If you haven't in some times past, you can still go back to the court because the court's going to do what the court is required to do and what's legal. So if you haven't done it, you need to get right on it. And if it's some times past, you need to go see an attorney, see what the attorney recommends, and follow the attorney's advice.
A related question we get quite a bit on the show, too. If a loved one passes away, happen to be, let's say, a mother or a sibling, something like that, and they have debt that they've accrued, who is responsible for that debt?
Well, actually, no one is responsible for someone else's debt. Now, sometimes we sign for them or do something with them, or if we're spouses, we both get on a loan, so we're both responsible. But if your parents die and they have a whole bunch of debt, you don't owe the debt. Now, if they have a whole bunch of assets and you go to an estate and you have to sell the assets, then obviously the debt would go towards the assets and you get what's left over. But if they don't have any assets and you don't want anything, you don't owe debt for anybody else. You only owe debt for yourself.
Do you know, and this just popped into my head, do you know if that same thing goes if you, let's say your parents are getting older and you have their power of attorney? Does anything change if you have that?
Well, actually not. I don't think. You don't personally owe it. A power of attorney means you're acting on behalf of someone else. It doesn't mean actually that you owe that it's your responsibility. You're just acting in their place, acting for them, so you would know the debts.
All right, another interesting thing happening right now, Charley, we're talking about the immigration lawsuit. Supreme Court expected to hear that, and they are hearing arguments. We saw some video yesterday of some Wichitans who were up there protesting it and marching in favor of President Obama's immigration ruling, his executive order. A court in Texas has blocked that from going into effect. Again, we're stuck with a potential 4-4 tie, and what would happen? Well,
if it's 4-4, then what happened in Texas controls, and that's what really disturbs people, because they want the Supreme Court to be the ultimate decider of what happens, the United States Supreme Court, to be the ultimate decider of what happens. But if they can't decide, if it's 4-4, and there's no decision, then it reverts back. It goes back to what the lower court decided.
With the way the Supreme Court is divided right now with those justices, do you, in your opinion, see anything but 4-4 ties remaining until a ninth justice is appointed?
Well, it's only on certain things. I mean, we get into all this political belief, and some of them are conservative, some of them are liberal, but that doesn't apply in everything. And a number of issues get up there that they decide easily. Sometimes they're decided by no one votes one way. It's 8-0 or 9-0, depending. So it depends on the issue. Some of the real controversial issues is what everybody's really concerned about.
Right. Those are the ones that get all the headlines. Those are the ones that grab all of the attention. But the Supreme Court actually does hear quite a few.
And there's some that are affecting people that they personally think are very important that never make the headlines.
Absolutely. Right. Thanks so much, Charley, for being here. Appreciate your phone call as well. We're going to be right back here in just a couple of minutes.